Good morning, good afternoon, good morning, or good evening, actually. It's still nighttime in the US. Um, quick swas MS. First, my good friend Maishi Rosenbaum commented how few subscribers there are to YouTube. I said, well, you and my mother. So he's like, instead of just saying everyone, just say good job to my mother and Maishi. So good job Ima and Maishi, the people listening, but kidding, of course. Um, Very interesting. This Parsha's packed with so many things to talk about. But one thing kind of struck me, always bothered me, is in your mind, you close your eyes, you think about Avram, you think about someone who just loved everybody, someone who was, loved by everyone, loved everyone, and you think about Yitzchak, Gevura, serious. He probably never smiled in his life. And Yaakov, who was a mixture. He had rough times. He had good times. But it always struck me so strange that we always think, in the back of my mind, think of Yitzchak, whose name, Yitzchak, is to laugh and to be happy. And I always think of him as Pachad Yitzchak. He was always serious. He was always in a bad mood. You couldn't talk to the guy. He hated chesed. He hated people. And Sfas Emes says something that totally flips this around. And he says that because the word Yitzchak, could mean two things. It's happy, but also it's mitzachek. When you look at Yishmael and Esav, it's mitzachek. Use that lashon is that they were chasing things that temporary. Olam hazeh, happy and laughing. But Zar, Gil Rosh, Chazdamim, that's mitzachek. Yitzchak was happy. And what's happy? What does that even mean? So it's the opposite for a tzaddik. A tzaddik laughs at the tricks of the Yetzer Hara. Tachbule Yetzer Hara kischok. He laughs at the tricks of the Yetzer Hara. When you have a fear of Hashem and you follow Hashem, that anything along the way, any tricks, any Yetzer Hara, anything along the way is a joke to you. Everything is funny to you. Oh, Lashon Hara? There's no way I'm going to do that. That's funny. I'm going to look at this. There's no way. It's a joke to him. And it's only when you have this pachad, this fear of Hashem, and you know that the only person you have to really fear is Hashem, that anything else in your way is a joke. And this leads to the total connection to Hashem, Amos Hashem. And this is something that is so interesting because there's fear, and he mentions Chosavos, a story where two Hasidim are in a forest, and one's sleeping, one's not sleeping. The one who's not sleeping says to the sleeping guy, I guess afterward, goes, "You're not afraid of lying?" He goes, "I'm afraid of Hashem. I'm afraid of Hashem. That's what I'm afraid of. Everything else, either Hashem will take care of me, or the lion will be afraid, whatever it is. I'm afraid of Hashem. That's what I'm afraid of. Everything else, not crazy concerned, I guess." And this is the difference of Yishmael, who Sarah says, that's a bad simcha. That's not something that we want to be part of. Yitzchak should not be part of it. That's a bad laughing. Laughing, it's things that olam hazeh, temporary things. That's bad laughing. That's bad chasing after pleasure. That's bad. Yitzchak is only following Hashem. And when you're following Hashem, everything else is a joke. And it's true. I mean, you feel that. This past year, we in the house, we talked a lot about Lashon Hara. And the more you concentrate on something and you're focused on something, then when you have these temptations, you can laugh it off. When you control something, not that I control Lashon Hara, 100%, working on it, but you control something, it's a joke to have these temptations now. If you're concentrating on learning a certain time every day, then other distractions, you brush it off, and it's laughable. These distractions and these temptations are laughable. The Kli Yakar says the older you get, the more the temptations of the guf gets lower and lower. At 50, we have this less temptations than when you're 30 or 40 or 20. And these things are laughable. You laugh. When you're really tuned into davening, then I'm not going to look at my phone. There's no way I'm going to be on my phone. It's laughable to even think about that. And if you're going to shul and you're learning, other things get in your way, it's laughable. It's funny. And Yitzchak, this is his joy. This was his laughing. So Yitzchak didn't have these temptations, and Yitzchak was able to laugh these things off. Everybody else has struggles every day. Going to shul, am I learning? Am I following Hashem? Am I doing this? Everybody. Yitzchak didn't have this. Yitzchak, from the time he was born, was totally focused in on God. It wasn't, his nisayon at the Akedah. Totally, it was a bigger nisayon of Abraham. That's what's called, it's the test of Abraham that did this more than Yitzchak. Yitzchak, I'm sure it was nisayon, but he was dialed in straight to God. And this is kind of, Sfas Emes also talks about this, about Simcha with Shabbos. An earlier year, Sfas Emes talks about that, Hashem is made, that we belong in this world, and we're made in this world, that is Hashem in this world, and we're made on each other. And this is Mahanakas HaShabbos. It's not that Mahanag Atzmo BaShabbos, pleasuring yourself on Shabbos, it's pleasuring Shabbos. And that's kind of the difference, is what's the Simcha on Shabbos? The Simcha Shabbos isn't that we're eating better and we're drinking better, which we do anyway. No, we're enjoying Shabbos. We're enjoying that Hashem gave us a day not to worry about the world, not to worry about the elections, not to worry about my job, not worry about the stocks, worry about my phone. Just focus on Hashem and the rest, and that Hashem created the world. Through that, I enjoy the Shabbos with eating better and drinking better. But the actual Simcha isn't meat. The actual Simcha isn't that. That's a side thing. That's a tafel. But the real Simcha is just to focus on Hashem, not to focus on other things. Shabbat Shalom.